Today I will be discussing how I recently quit caffeine. I think this is a really relevant topic since most of the world lives caffeinated, and I certainly was one of those people because every single day I wake up I drink coffee since high school. So I'm going to be talking about that in today's video. Let's get right into it. When I got into caffeine, it was sophomore year in high school when I got into caffeine, and it was during my finals. I remember I was studying a lot more for my test, and I was a little bit tired. I was staying up a little bit later, but it wasn't too much. But my mom was like, "Hey, just drink this. I got you this." It's like these little espresso cans from Starbucks. They look kind of cool, taste really good, a lot of sugar in them. So I was like, "Oh, I'll take it." It gives me a little boost before I go in and take a hard exam, which I really felt like I needed. But I wasn't dependent on it. I think the case had about 6 espresso shots, or maybe even 4, and I just split those up throughout the week, so I just had one every day except maybe the last day. Nevertheless, it was summertime. I didn't need any more coffee. I didn't need any more caffeine because I wasn't thinking as hard. I wasn't staying up late anymore. It's summer. I'm sleeping in, going to bed whenever I want, and watching a lot of YouTube and Netflix during summer. And I'm not doing school. That was sophomore year. Then came junior year. That's when things started to amp up in my classes. Stuff in my class became more difficult, and that required me to stay up a little bit later, but I had to use my brain a lot more, and I always had to be kind of mentally alert doing homework, and in my classes, and we had more exams more often, and quizzes. But I was okay. I think I would drink a cup of coffee here and there. Not too much, but definitely during testing. Testing, because in high school, there's like testing seasons. There's midterm, and then there is final, and then if you're in some AP classes, advanced placement classes, you gotta take an AP test. And even SAT, junior year you take an SAT and the ACT. During those times, I definitely was drinking some coffee here and there, but I wasn't keeping track of my caffeine intake or anything, nothing like that. I wasn't dependent. Like if I didn't drink the next day, I wouldn't get a headache, I'd be fine. I just wouldn't feel the extra boost. Nevertheless, senior year came around, and that's when stuff all amped up even more. It became significantly more difficult than the year before, and the teachers really stressed like, hey, this is going to be a hard year, and I was worried, and it was much more difficult. And during the test season, and even during just normal days, I would start drinking because I was kind of tired. If I didn't drink a cup of coffee in the evening, right after I got home from school around 3 o'clock, so I guess late afternoon, just about the evening around 5 o'clock, I would want to go to sleep, but I wouldn't be able to because I need to do a lot of homework and prepare for the next day and meet due dates. Then I would drink a cup of coffee. Then that would give me the boost I needed to stay up and to do my homework. That's when my addiction started. And there I would dabble in with a Red Bull here and there, but not really an energy drink as in like Rockstar or anything. I think Rockstar I drank once in my senior year just because I was so tired, and it was a protein Rockstar, which tasted pretty good. It was a protein Monster, a protein Rockstar. I don't really remember. I don't drink those, but it was really good. It was my breakfast, and it was my energy for the morning. That was a 2-in-1, so I really liked that. But I didn't get addicted to that yet. I was more so addicted to coffee. I drink it almost every morning, and in the evening if I wanted to, which became routine after a while. Then there reached a point when I had tried a Red Bull, and I was like, whoa, this stuff is kind of better than coffee, and it wasn't hot coffee. It was a nice cold beverage in a can. I got addicted to that. I was absolutely addicted. I ended up drinking about 1 a day at the beginning, and after a while I was drinking at least 2 a day. It was the medium-sized can. It was never the large sugar can. I always stuck with sugar-free, luckily, because I never liked drinking all that sugar. That would give me a crash. That would definitely crash me, but not so much the sugar-free. After a while, I was just taking about 2 Red Bulls a day, 1 in the morning, 1 in the late afternoon, early evening, and sometimes if I go one to work out, I'd try to get another one in, or do something because I needed it, needed the energy. Then one day, I think testing season was about over, but we still had like 2 weeks left of school. We finished all our exams and our testing, our AP and IB testing. Our school's done. We didn't actually have finals, but we graduated in like 2 weeks. So I decided to say, hey, no more Red Bulls. It's kind of getting too much. I hate going to the store and buying them. And coffee, I'm already past coffee. I'm just drinking Red Bulls every day. So I said, you know what? Screw it. Not going to drink it. One day I didn't drink it. I was okay for half the day. After school, I went to the gym. Pounding migraine when I started to lift. It was a tension headache. Extremely. Felt like my head was going to burst. Felt like everything's coming in. I was at the gym, and I went to the studio part of the gym, and it was dark. Lights were turned off, and there's chairs. I put two chairs together, and I fell asleep for like an hour and a half because my head hurt so bad. At that point, I knew I needed to quit Red Bulls, and that migraine honestly was like 3 to 5 days of just pain. By like the 5th to 6th day, it was still kind of lingering, but it was definitely there. And it was excruciating the first couple of days. I couldn't do anything. I was tired all day, and I had this horrible headache where I really couldn't do anything. But eventually, I came off of Red Bulls, and I haven't drinking Red Bull since. I've really been scared to drink Red Bull just because of the withdrawals and the withdrawals I had from when I got off Red Bull. It was kind of scary to think about how much it had control on me. Now, let's cut into college. I'm entering my 3rd year in college. I'm a junior. And coffee is definitely essential as an academic student. I'm academically focused, and coffee and caffeine, they go hand in hand. It's absolutely necessary. At least that's what it feels like when you start drinking coffee. And the problem only got worse. I didn't drink Red Bulls anymore, but I started drinking coffee every day. I did stop drinking coffee in the evenings just because I knew that wasn't good, and it would actually affect my sleep a little bit. I'd be going to bed a little bit later, and I didn't like that. So I kind of just kept it for in the morning or early afternoon, around like 12 o'clock. Even though I did not drink Red Bulls, I did start getting into energy drinks, such as Bang and Rain. For context, a cup of coffee, which is supposedly 8 fluid ounces, has about 95 milligrams of caffeine, but realistically most cups are around 12 fluid ounces, which is more around like 140 milligrams of caffeine. I was drinking at least 2 of those a day. But then I went to energy drinks, and that boosted it to around 300 milligrams at least, at minimum, because if you drink a Bang energy drink, that's 300 milligrams, and if you drink coffee, that's maybe another 140 milligrams. So you're drinking at least 300 milligrams of caffeine a day if you drink an energy drink. So I started dabbling in that. I got addicted to caffeine again, but it really didn't become a problem because I would just drink coffee almost every single day, and I would drink coffee in the summer too. And at that point, I just became a caffeinated individual where I drank coffee every single day when I woke up. And it wasn't a huge deal because I just drink coffee before work and when I had a summer job, and then I'd carry that throughout to my school year. Here and there, I'd cut it back because when I ran out of coffee, I just didn't really make it anymore, and I just got a headache for a couple of days, and I was over it, done. Didn't drink anymore, and just didn't really need it, especially if that's in the summer. That was probably my freshman and sophomore year, and I would definitely abuse energy drinks and caffeine. Now let's think about the current time period. Right now I'm entering my 3rd year in college, about to become a junior, and I'm just finishing my summer. This summer I decided I wanted to quit caffeine, at least for 2 weeks, because I was inspired by a Joe Rogan podcast. Post the clip.
Interviewing him about caffeine for this chapter, and he said, well, you're never going to understand your relationship to caffeine until you get off it. So it was kind of a dare. And it was really hard. It was one of the hardest things I've done.
Really?
Oh, I was a mess.
For how long?
3 months.
In this Joe Rogan podcast, I was talking about how people are so caffeinated and so addicted, it's a mental grip. And I really wanted to try, like, hey, this guy quit caffeine for 3 months. Let me just try 2 weeks, because no one thought I could do it. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do it. So I quit for 2 weeks, and then my dad was like, hey, if you quit 2 weeks, why don't you just do a month? Or just go on, just quit. Why are you drinking at all? And I said, I'll take up your challenge. I'm going to do a month. So I did 1 month. This is how I did it. Well, the first step I figured to do was, hey, I'm going to drink this cup of coffee, black cup of coffee, normal serving, and every single day I'm going to decrease it in small increments. And it's going to be black. I'm not really going to like it, and my coffee is Folgers. It's not the best coffee. I put it in the fridge so it gets bitter after every single day. But nevertheless, I did this for about a week and a half, where I decreased it to almost about a little, like 3 sips, like the last day. And then the next day I was like, you know what, I'm just going to try to drink any coffee. And that was like maybe after 2 weeks. And after 2 weeks, I felt good. I was like, wow, I'm not really having withdrawals. I didn't have any experience anything. But then after the next day of not drinking coffee, I was hit with a raging, pounding headache, debilitating. Didn't do anything that day. Really sucked. So I made sure to take an Advil, rest for that day, and just take it easy. If I had to say one thing, I would say that my energy levels were definitely low for at least, I'd say even 2 weeks after quitting caffeine, was not having it in my system, I was more tired in the evenings, and I just didn't want to do as much work. I'm used to grinding almost every single day. I was waking up at like 6 a.m. grinding and finishing in the afternoon. But now I was starting a little bit later, and I was like, I don't want to do any work. I'm kind of tired. I don't have my cup of coffee. It became a mental crutch. So some of the benefits I experienced once I finally got past that, around the 2.5 week mark, I was experiencing incredibly good sleep. Every night I'd go to bed, I'd almost dream almost every night. That's one thing I did notice. I dreamed a lot more compared to when I was drinking caffeine. And I wasn't sleep deprived at all. But one side effect, or one negative, was that in the evenings or late afternoons, I felt significantly more tired. I felt like I needed a nap, so I started taking naps, which I didn't do when I drank caffeine. And if you are someone who likes to be very productive, I felt like that was hindering me. I couldn't really do anything because in the late afternoons, early evenings, I started getting tired and wanted to take a nap, which wasn't good. But it's summer and I really wanted to quit caffeine. It's kind of like an experiment for myself. Another benefit I experienced was being like, it's more of a mental side. I defeated the mental crutch. Every time I did work, I had a caffeinated drink, be it an energy drink or a cup of coffee, and I just type, drink, and that just became routine. It became like my thing. Like if I was doing work, I'd want that drink, and once I eliminated that part of working, it almost felt like, why am I working? What am I doing? So once I got past that, I felt like, wow, I can do work without caffeine. It is something I can do, and I got past that, and it was no longer a mental crutch. I was able to be productive without it, which felt really nice, and that was like an accomplishment for myself. Also, I didn't experience any more crashes, and I was no longer dependent, so that was definitely a victory for me. Some of the side effects that I was not expecting were the withdrawals, and the most significant withdrawal I experienced was the mental grip caffeine had on me. I would take a shower, be like, just drink a little bit of caffeine, just drink a little bit of caffeine, just drink a little bit of coffee. It's not bad, it's only a little bit, you're not going to abuse it. And I seriously had that thought in my head for about 2 weeks. And this is because there's so many temptations. When you quit caffeine and you say, no, I can't have caffeine, I can't have that soda, I can't have that coffee, I can't really have that, you start noticing how much caffeine people actually drink and how it's in almost everything. If I go and get food and I want to get a drink, I can't get soda. I don't like sugary beverages, so I can get lemonade, but it's like, well, maybe I could get tea. Well, hey, tea has caffeine, can't drink it. Unless it's decaf, and most places don't have decaffeinated tea. So that's a challenge, and there are a lot of temptations everywhere, so that was definitely a challenge, at least a negative when you quit caffeine. So here are my final conclusions. After quitting caffeine for over a month, I've experienced great benefits such as incredible sleep. But summer is about to end, school's about to start, so I gotta be realistic. I'm gonna need caffeine. But I need to be more conservative with how much I consume. I need to be ultra conservative actually, so I'm not gonna be drinking as much. I'm gonna take a step back. No more energy drinks, or as limited as possible. Energy drinks should be avoided almost entirely. And I'm gonna be able to enjoy life, but try to enjoy life with not relying on caffeine. Once I notice that I'm starting to replace sleep with caffeine, that's when I know an issue. I need to draw back and reduce my caffeine intake. Overall, even though I quit caffeine for 1 month and I could say, well, I'm gonna keep going, I know that's not necessarily realistic because I'm about to be in school, I'm gonna be very busy, and I'm gonna be doing a lot of things, and I'm gonna need that extra boost here and there. So overall, from the experience, what I've gained is I learned what it's like to live with and without caffeine. I remember it again. I remember being maybe a freshman in high school when I didn't use caffeine. And that is something I wanted to experience, especially since I'm entering my junior year in college. And I don't have that mental grip on me of caffeine anymore. Nevertheless, I'm back on YouTube. This was a quick little video I put together. And my next videos are going to be on my new sport I recently got into, which is Jiu-Jitsu, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I will have a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu vlog posted soon. I don't know if it'll be the next video. And I have a Python update coming very soon. It's hard to film these Python updates because I'm learning a lot. It's kind of boring for the viewer to watch, so I'm trying to figure out how I can present to make it more entertaining. But I've been learning about algorithms, algorithm analysis, sorting and searching algorithms, all sorts of things. I'm making a lot of progress, and I'm starting school in under a week. So I catch you guys next week. Weekly videos. I'm keeping myself accountable. Keep me accountable. See you guys later. Cruise your life.
No, don't hit my phone. She said you only hit me up when you're alone. I told her, baby, sorry, I'm just in my zone. I'm tryna get this money, sorry, on my own.